This podcast is part of the Listen Frederick Podcast Network. To learn more, visit listenfrederick.com.
The Fedora Files.
Hello and welcome to the Fedora Files. I am Gregory Fedora and I am so glad you are here. This episode is brought to you by Sasquatch and Me, as well as Happy Little Monsters Volumes 1 through 4, which you can get on Amazon. They are the books I've written. Happy Little Monsters is kind of like an anthology of all kinds of different folklore and creatures around the world, and it tells you a little tidbit about them. Sasquatch and Me is more of a what-if story of what if I went to the Pacific Northwest and befriended a group of Bigfoot. Very entertaining. You can check all of that out. It's good times, and I hope you will. Because that is how I keep my stuff coming in. Pays for everything that I do. This week's episode, I'm going to take a deep dive into UFO. Now, the UFO phenomenon is not one that I'm an expert on at all or anything. I find it fascinating. I find it interesting. I have my theories about it, what they are, what they could be, and what they want. But I do have an experience, and this is an interesting thing. Back in 2012, I and my wife were in St. Augustine, Florida, visiting family. And we were sitting outside in a hammock, and we were just like sitting there looking up at the stars. And if you take your pointer finger and middle finger and spread them as far as you can, we saw these two lights directly above us that looked like they were that far apart. So probably thousands of miles apart. As you look up in the sky, it could be 100 miles apart, could be 20 feet apart. I don't know, but it was up there. There's two bright lights, and these things weren't moving. Then suddenly they just kind of moved from south to north, and then they stopped, and then they were gone. Just like that, and we both were like, what was that? And that was it. We were just like, that was really weird, because it wasn't like, a plane or anything. And it could have been a drone and they just turned off their lights. I don't know, but it was very interesting because they were that far apart and they weren't moving. Then suddenly they moved and stopped and then gone. And we were just like, that is the weirdest thing. And we were just like, okay, that's bizarre. Then this is where it gets even crazier. In July of the same year, 2012, we were watching a episode of Destination Truth in its season 5, episode number 4, and it's titled Alien Invaders and Swedish Lake Monster. So Josh Gates is the host of Destination Truth, and he went to Kazakhstan. I guess that's how you say it. I'm really bad with words. And I went to a private school. You'd think I'd be better educated, but I can't pronounce things. I suck at it. Anyway, so Josh Gates was in Kazakhstan, and they were investigating a supposed fallen UFO. And as they're out trooping around in the woods and where it was supposed to be, they looked up and they saw two lights, which were about the same distance as their fingers. And they were there steady. Then they moved again from a north to south trajectory and then were gone. The exact same thing my wife and I had seen months earlier. And we were like sitting there watching the show and we looked at each other like, oh my gosh. And we were trying to figure out when this was filmed. I know that there's no way it could have been the same, time as we were because it's on a different side of the earth. But I was like weirded out about that. And then I was like, okay, that's really bizarre. And I didn't do any more research into it. But I have since looked at it and heard people tell other similar stories of these strange lights. Now, jump ahead now, we're in recent dates. A buddy of mine posted something that happened at Eglin Air Base not too long ago, and it was an unidentified UFO. I guess unidentified, that's redundant because UFO, unidentified flying object. It was they said an unidentified aircraft near Eglin Air Base, which is in the western panhandle of Florida. Um, and this thing it looked like a black diamond with a thicker black diamond with a smaller black diamond from the front to back, and apparently the back end of the smaller black diamond shot it up. That's where the exhaust or something was coming out of it. It was flying though, and it had maneuvered very strangely. It was very fast. Apparently, before they could do anything about it, it was gone. And this then got me into another deep dive. I just was like, I went on to Google because, why not? Why not Google? And I typed in uh, Eglin Air Base, unidentified Eglin Air Base, and thing. And this happened. It happened in January of 2023, so it's fairly recent. And as I was scrolling through, I came across that the CIA has a whole page on UFO phenomenon, and it's called, it's at the CIA.gov, the reading room docs, CIA-RDP8. And this whole thing is flying saucers, UFO reports, and it's all on the CIA's page. And who are they? And what are these things? And it's just fascinating. It's pages and pages and pages of different documentations of UFOs, and it's on the CIA.gov's page, which I find fascinating that the CIA has a whole page dedicated to this phenomenon and that they have it out for public to read. But then that made me wonder, why does the CIA have this out? What is this documentation that they are giving us, and why? What are they trying to hide? Because I'm very not trusting. So I was like, obviously these are the ones they want us to focus on and not something else. And what is going on and what should we be actually looking for? Because the Eglin Air Base thing was not in any of this documentation by the CIA, but it was interesting when I typed in looking for more information on the Eglin Air Base incident, which happened like a little over a year ago, that this whole other plethora of documentation the CIA had for us just showed up out of nowhere. And I found it just a tad bit interesting. So, what are your thoughts on UFOs? I mean, do you find them fascinating? I do find them fascinating. What are your theories? I do have a couple of theories. I guess I can throw those out there. I don't think they're good. I don't. I fall on the side of these are not a good thing because, like, as you when you do the research, ha, I got potty humor. Anyway, when you do the research on these things and these incidences, and when people have experiences, they've never turned out to be a good experience. They never come away. I feel so much better about it. They're terrified. They become very paranoid. They have if they do have cuts or something, like what is cutting them and putting objects into them? Why are these things happening, and why are they here? What do they want? I actually have read some people believe that it's demonic interdimensional beings, again taking your focus off of what's going on. Now others say it's government doing these things, and there is a guy who I can't remember his name right now, but he's talked about you do research. He's a doctor, a physicist, and he claims that we have the capabilities and the vehicles that can do these anti-gravity type of things, and he believes that the government is buying them out because it would stop us and we wouldn't be able to get free energy. So that's his theory. I don't know if it's true. I've listened to his stuff. He's a fascinating guy. He claims everyone who figures out how to do it ends up dying or getting Epsteined. And personally, just if anyone's listening, is I don't know how to make any of that. So leave me alone. I don't know how to create anti-gravity or antimatter. I have no idea. I'm not smart enough. I couldn't even pronounce it. Kazakhstan correctly. I probably didn't even pronounce it right then either. Gosh, I'm just not smart. Anyway, so I just want the men in black to realize I'm not smart enough to figure this stuff out. But what are your thoughts? Do you think we are being visited by aliens or interdimensional creatures, or do you think it's the government, or do you think it's demonic in nature? I'm curious what your thoughts are on the UFO phenomenon as it continues to grow. We're getting more and more. I find it interesting as a society, we are getting more incidents of paranormal things. People are reporting more and more ghostly or demonic encounters. People are reporting more UFO encounters and sightings. People are reporting more Bigfoot and strange cryptid creatures, like not just Bigfoots, but like dogmen and all kind of like if you do there's like people are reporting these things that on a scale, what you would think as a society we should be more scientific and like we're beyond all this crazy folklore, but we're not. We're even more than we were like 100 years ago. We have even more, and we have more technology, so we're catching more things with cameras, blurry, yes, but still we're catching things, and people's minds are like, what is going on? And I want to know what is going on, and that's what I am all about, finding out what's going on. And I want to know what's going on in your mind right now about all of this. So thank you for stopping by. Thank you for checking me out. Please go to Amazon, pick up one of my books. And I have a thing right now. If you get one of my books, write a review, screenshot it, send me the screenshot. I'm going to put you in a raffle for a signed copy of any of the books that I've written that you would like. And you can say, hey, I want Sasquatch Me, or Volume 1, or Volume 2, or Volume 3, or Volume 4, or when Volume 5 comes out, I want that one signed. And it'll be a hardcover copy. So whichever one you decide you want, that's the one I'm going to give you. And all you got to do is buy a book and do a review. And if you've bought a book at an event that I've been at, just go on there and do a review of it. And remember to, as always, stay safe and keep searching.
The Fedora Files.
Check out FedoraCRT.com today.